hit that like button. Power season 6, episode 6, Inside Man. And we find out early on who the Inside Man is because from the last episode, King's Gambit, where Tariq gets kidnapped at the end by Vincent, it picks off where that's going, and it gets revealed early on that it's an inside job and that Tariq has planned his own kidnapping. Like this kid has got to go down as one of the worst. I thought he was going to go down as one of the worst kids in television history. He might go down as one of the most hated characters. Somebody was saying that he might be up there with Gemma from Sons of Anarchy, like just someone who just sabotaged everything within the family for their own personal good. Like this kid is fucking stupid as shit. And the whole thing is he's planning his own kidnapping because he wants to get half of the money that Vincent is asking for. Vincent is asking for $2 million now. I'm like, does he really think Vincent's gonna give him $2 million? Like $2 million? Like this little nigga's crazy. So that's how it opens up. And Tommy lets Ghost know quick, like I'm not working for you, I'm working with you, and let that be known out the gate. We're only doing this, to get this kid back. But I think at some point Tommy's gonna have to cut Tariq off because he's a liability to him. I mean, you can't be beefing with somebody and you're still looking out for their son. I mean, this is ridiculous. And this is the type of shit that Keisha and Tommy's crew is looking at him like, why are you still fucking with this kid? And his father's trying to kill you and vice versa. It makes no sense. So they had to come up with $2 million in 24 hours. So they're scrambling. And Ghost approaches Councilman Tate, asks for a loan, and he's like, nigga, what? And he's like, yo, we can do a fundraiser at the club. Yada, yada, yada. Tate's not having it, but Ghost has this information on him of him taking money out the Queen's Child Project and putting it into his own pocket. So he kind of has leverage over him. It's kind of like blackmail. So he convinces him to get on board with this money and get this loan. So, but they still got to come up with another $1 million. So this whole episode should just be called Tariq Fundraiser because that's all it was. It was the whole time they was just running around trying to find money to save this boy's life, and the whole nine. And Alphonse comes back in this episode. Now he hasn't been mentioned for like a year or two ago. I forgot about the nigga. And that's who he's got the recording with. Ghost has the recording with Alphonse and Tate. So that's how he gets him on top. And in this episode, we also was notified that Tate was a former cop. We didn't know that. He used to work for the NYPD. So, that comes up as useful information as this episode goes on. Tommy, to get his half, see how he can help out, he gives Jason a big check to get more product as much as possible. And Jason's kind of like, why do you need so much product? He's like, I just need it. And he has to convince his crew to get on board. And at first they're looking at him like, this is stupid. But they get on board. And then Ghost convinces Dre to get on board. And, because Dre's so vulnerable at this point. He's like, why do you trust me? He's like, I don't. That's why I got Alphonse working with you. But he's like, if you get on board and help out and move some of this product to help get us this money, I can, make a phone call and I can get Tate to call child services and they can help get your daughter out of custody because, his daughter's been sacked as his daughter and the feds have, they've had this boy's daughter for a couple of episodes now and he's kind of heard about that shit. So, that's how they get him on board. So, like I say, it's just all about fundraising for Tariq and, at some point Ghost gets pulled over by the detective. I think her name was McCullen and, U.S. Attorney Sergeant Rodriguez, and he's got a truck full of drugs, and they're asking him about the shooting of Joe Proctor. Now, we don't see Ghost's house in this episode. We haven't seen Ghost's house is under construction, I guess, since Tommy shot it up in the last episode. And they're asking him about, the death of Joseph Proctor, his lawyer, and they're asking for Tariq. And you can't really tell him where Tariq is at because Tariq is under custody under Vincent right now. So he can't really give them anything. And then they're asking, why was the back door open and why was the alarm disabled? So this is the shit that kind of like, the shit that makes you just look at Tariq like, this nigga's a fucking idiot. Because he just looks guilty. So eventually Vincent confronts Tasha and she doesn't have a clue what's going on. Tasha doesn't even know. So, Ghost just doesn't tell Tasha anything. So they all meet up at Tommy's house, and Keisha's got an attitude as usual. And they all trying to figure out how to get this money and how to clean it. And Tasha's like, I'll clean it through my daycare. Tisha's like, oh no, I'll do it. And she's like, bitch, you don't even know how to do this shit, you know? So she's like, I gotta school you because you don't know how to do it. You don't know nothing about books, vendors, anything. So they're all trying to, hustle their way to get this boy money. Tasha's got the strip girl, the stripper's selling dope. She's getting, dope from the dude that, what's his name? The nigga from the last episode that was told that he wanted a band a week. She got, she's selling dope for him. Everybody's moving product trying to get this boy out. You know what I mean? Tariq's got everybody working hard as fuck. And at one point, Alphonse is like on a coffee break and he's watching the competition on the corner. And Dre's like, nigga, what you doing? You just gonna sit here and hold your dick while these niggas, made bread on the corner? He was like, nah, I'm just gonna wait for them to move. And he was like, man, you ain't built for this shit. And at one point, he pulls out a knife and he walks up on a nigga and stinks him. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, to me, I think that's why Alphonse felt like he had something to prove later on in the episode. But at first I was like, okay, what's the point of this scene? But nonetheless, they sacking up this money to get this boy. So they finally get this money. And as Tommy and Ghost are in the truck on the way to deliver this money to Vincent, they kind of have like this intimate conversation like a married couple. And Ghost is like, what are we doing here? And Tommy just looks at him like, it's like they're having this intimate conversation about why are we doing this and what's going to happen once we give the money to Vincent. Are we still killing each other? And, Tommy's like, look, I'm packing. I know you're packing. It is what it is. And as soon as they pull up, they get pulled over by Jason and the Serbians, and they take half of the $2 million. Because Jason's like, this is my cut because Tommy owes me for protection, and Ghost owes me something too. So now this back to square one. Well, halfway, because now you only got $1 million. So, when they go to Vincent with just $1 million and not $2 million, Vincent goes crazy and he gets this bag with oranges. And it's something about oranges in this show because the last episode it was a bowl of oranges on Ghost's table, and then an episode before that I think it was Tommy or someone was drinking a big jug of orange juice. I don't know what it is about oranges, but oranges means something I guess significant in the show, some symbol of something. I can't figure it out. But he beats this little nigga with a bag of oranges, and I think everyone watching the show was like, fuck, finally somebody beating the fuck out this little nigga. Finally somebody, because Tasha and Ghost ain't gonna do it. And he just kept getting them, chest shots, ribs, sternum. He was just fucking them up with that bag of oranges. And Ghost is going crazy, like, yo, chill the fuck out. And then at one point, the scene gets really tense when Vincent pulls out the knife and Ghost is losing it. But he just pulls it out just so he could cut the ropes off of Tariq. And he gives them 24 more hours and he kicks Tommy and Ghost out. And then Tariq is like coughing up, like, what the fuck? What happened to the plan? He was like, they didn't have the money. So then Tariq realized he's been duped. He duped everyone else and then he got duped himself. You got played. This man was not gonna give you half of any of his money. He's just toying with you. So Tariq's dumbass, not only did you not get a cut, your life is on the fucking line now. So yeah, this kid he doesn't really know what he's doing, and that's why he said, teach me the game, Ghost. He's in it and he don't know how to do it because he's not really from the streets. So he needs Ghost and Tasha to teach him how to do this shit. But the thing is, they don't want to teach him the game because they've gone out of their way to make sure he doesn't stay in the game or get in the game. He goes to, they sent him to choke, and the boy grew up in Tribeca, but he wants to be a part of this. And at some point, like Tasha said in the last episode, they're going to have to accept him for who he is. He is what he is now. He's not the little innocent boy who plays video games. He, is in this shit, in too deep. And they're going to have to show him the game eventually because what do you got to do now? He's out of school. He got kicked out. So, Tasha, they finally, they get back together again. And they're like, okay, what the fuck are we going to do now? Because now we're back to square one. We got another 24 hours to come up with this money. She reveals that she has a drug connect. And they like, what the fuck? You been selling weight and you ain't tell nobody? She's like, well, I got to do what I got to do. So this is when they start moving. She starts moving weight through the strip club with, old girl from the last episode. So, Ghost meets up with cousin Benny and offers his condolences to Tommy. About Proctor. I get these white boys mixed up. So he offers his condolences about Proctor and tells him he believes it was another client. And Benny knows the whole thing. And Dominic, who plays Benny, who's in The Wire, he's a great actor. He knows the whole thing is bullshit. He knows it's Tommy. Ghost doesn't know Benny knows it's Tommy. And he offers, condolences, but he asks for help. He wants to see if Benny's crew can help move as much weight as possible to try to get Tariq out. Now, in the last episode, despite Benny knowing that Tariq helped with Tommy's whole thing, he also respected the fact that he delivered his niece Alicia Marie to his house safe and sound. So that does give him some kind of insurance policy. But they don't know. I think Benny's the wild card in this whole shit because they don't know how much information Benny knows, and they don't know about that SIM card, that information that Benny has in that laptop either. But Benny, nonetheless, he's letting Ghost believe that he he's cool with him. So Tasha gets confronted by the cops at her job at the daycare center, and Vincent allows Tariq to meet up with the police because it's better that the police don't come after him in his place because he sells dope. He can't have the cops at his place. So they're sitting down with the detective and Rodriguez, and they're asking Tariq, okay, why did you open up the back door and disable the alarm? And he's like, he makes up this corny bullshit story. I have a racist neighbor on the 12th floor, and I just didn't want to be bothered with him, so I went through the back. And she said, you went through the back just to get hot chocolate? Because him and Alicia Marie went and got hot chocolate. And he's like, yeah. And Natasha's like, what type of fucking, like, he needs to learn the game because he doesn't know anything. He's so fucking stupid and naive. And they're not buying that story. And then Tasha and him are walking down the street, and she's like, you're coming with me? And he's like, no, I can't. Vincent and then they watching Big Mama and Yaz, and then, she sees the scars from the bruises, and she's like, what the fuck? So she's going crazy. You know what I'm saying? She's going nuts because, that's her son, and she loves him, but she knows this nigga is wild, and Tariq tells her that, hey, Vincent's gonna kill all three of us anyway, so it don't even matter if you give him the money. So he's got himself in some real shit. So now they have to come up with another plan, and that's because they're having this fundraiser at Club Truth for Ghost for Tate's campaign. And the whole irony about Club Truth to me, I don't know if anybody else looked at it, but this show is a lot of people who lie on the show. Ghost lies like a motherfucker. Everybody lies on the show. But the nigga owns a club called Truth. Like, that shit is hilarious to me. Like, the psychopathical liar like this nigga, and he owns a club called Truth. But they doing this fundraiser, and it's going to be some of the richest people in the city at this fundraiser. So they're saying if we plan a robbery a heist, we can rob all of these rich people, and we can get the money, right then and there and settle this. So that's what they do, and Tommy's crew is in charge of it. Now, when they get to the club, Tommy's crew, they're getting ready, and Dre, who's working in the club, he doesn't know anything about this fundraiser heist. He spots some of Tommy's crew members, and he gets sketchy. But before he even does that, he's outside with Alphonse, and he was like, yo, you got some side hustle or something? And Alphonse was like, nah. He said, I'm going to get paid regardless. And he's like, what you mean you're going to get paid regardless? So that's sketchy right there. Alphonse is taking shit a little too serious. He's supposed to be in on it, but he really is really thinking he's going to get paid off of this. And it's really not for him. They doing this for Tariq. But he takes it a little too far. But when Tommy's people see Dre, they're like, oh shit, because they didn't know Dre's out and he's working with Ghost. So that's, they looking for him. But they carry out this robbery, successful. They get everything. It's intense. Al's got the fucking Mossberg pump, pow, pow, and Tommy's crew leaves, but he stays. And I think he's got like a point to prove, and he starts doing too much. And Ghost is like, yo, man, your whole crew left, your homeboys left, just go ahead and finish it. And he's like, nah, fuck that, yada, yada, yada. He puts the Mossberg up to the DNC lady, Ramona, and Tate can tell it's Alphonse. He knows it. He hears his voice. He can see it through a ski mask. He knows it's him. And as he's going out of the way, and this wasn't really the plan, but it happened kind of like that. And then Ghost gives Tate his gun. And because Ghost can't kill a kid, you know what I'm saying? Guns in New York, you can't do that. So he gives it to Tate. And like I say, because Tate is a former police officer, he was able to do it and get away with it, and he plays hero, and shoots Alphonse because Alphonse was about to kill him. And he becomes the hero of the night and gets his photo op, his publicity. So everybody wins. Tommy and them and Ghost and them get their money for Tariq, and Tate becomes the hero, and everyone's gonna get reimbursed who got robbed. So that was like the intense scene of the whole story, the whole episode tonight. And then at the end, it leads up to them giving the money to Vincent. And of course, Vincent still wants to kill them all despite that. And then that's when Big Cousin Benny comes and G checks him. And he's like, look, this kid delivered my niece safe and sound. You've been compensated already. Chill the fuck out. You don't want to go to war with my crew. And Vincent bows out gracefully and leaves. Now, there's a death stare that Benny gives Tommy. Tommy, the way Benny, when Benny came up, Tommy was kind of sketchy, and Ghost sees that shit. And Benny's like, yeah, Ghost is a friend for life. But Benny gives Tommy this look like, yeah, motherfucker. And Tommy can tell. Benny knows he knows. It's like, yeah. And after that, that's when Ghost pieces it together with Tasha that, yo, Tommy killed Proctor. So the war is back on, and Tommy's telling Keisha, I think they know what I did too. So the war is back on just like that. So this episode was cool, man. I give it three out of five. It was a dope episode. But Cousin Benny's the wild card that you got to keep your eye on, because at some point, he's got the leverage. He's definitely got the team, and I definitely don't think he's scared of Tommy. So if anybody's gonna kill Tommy, it looks like it's gonna be Benny, because he's got the most to go after, and there's no punches. But I think when they find out that Tariq was in on this whole robbery, Tommy's gotta cut Tariq off, because he's a liability, and he's a liability that you don't need. He's not your son. He's not your blood son. He's your godson, but you're having a war with his father. Why? It doesn't make any sense to go out of your way for somebody's kid that you're trying to kill. You know what I'm saying? He's a liability at this point, and he's playing everybody. And I think when that gets revealed that this whole thing was bullshit, it's just gonna hit the fan. But yeah, that'll be episode 7. So check that out, man. Thanks for viewing and shit. Like, subscribe, all that good shit. Out.